Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Frankfort Village Board. Tonight is Monday, November 4th, 2024. We'll call this meeting to order and we'll ask our Deputy Clerk, Teresa Cork, to take the roll, please.
Mayor Alba?
Here.
Trustee Lennon?
Here.
Trustee Rigoni?
Here.
Trustee Petro?
Here.
Trustee Borelli?
Here.
Trustee Rossi?
Here.
Attorney Lalore? Chief Chalepis? Here. Assistant Administrator Barika?
Present.
And Trustee Sabaria and Clerk Schubert are absent.
All right, thank you, Clerk. I ask if everyone would please stand with me and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item on here is what's called the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and are enacted in one single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. At this time, I ask if any of the board members would like to remove anything from the consent agenda. Hearing none, can I get a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll go through these items so that those that are in the audience, as well as those who'd be watching later at home on video, will be able to understand what it is that your village board is voting on. So there was the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting October 21st, 2024, and then we go to the approval of the bills, and we'll go to Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, we have several disbursements from the General Corporate Fund totaling $234,191.17. From our Motor Fuel Tax Fund, $7,596.39. From the Capital Development Fund, $2,147,884. From the Sewer Water Operation and Maintenance Fund, we have $224,694.90, and the Sewer and Water Extension Fund disbursement of $340,594.75. In total, disbursements are $2,954,961.21. A payment of note is the fourth installment to Austin Tyler for the 2024 resurfacing project in the amount of $2,066,329.50. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee. Next item, we'll go to one of the first of the Committee of the Whole reports, and we'll go to Trustee Burley.
Thank you, Mayor. Item C1 is the Village of Frankfort Code of Ordinances Amendments. A is Chapter 74, Bicycles, Motorcycles, and Certain Other Vehicles. And then B is Chapter 97, Off-Road Recreational Vehicles. At the Committee of the Whole meeting held on October 9th, Police Chief Leanne Chalepis provided an overview of proposed amendments to the municipal code pertaining to low-speed electric bicycles and off-road recreational vehicles. Chief Chalepis recommended amending Chapter 74, Bicycles, Motorcycles, and Certain Other Vehicles to implement regulations for Class 1 low-speed electric bicycle use in the village. Electric bicycle uses are currently not permitted in the village, and the proposed amendment to the traffic code will provide regulations to the use and operation of Class 1 low-speed electric bicycles. Class 2 and Class 3 low-speed electric bicycles will remain unlawful in the village. The proposed amendment will align the village's regulations with those of the Will County Forest Preserve, particularly for areas like the Old Plank Road Trail, which falls under both jurisdictions, providing consistency for residents, visitors, and law enforcement. Additionally, Chief Chalepis recommended repealing ordinance number 1220, entitled an ordinance providing for licensing and regulating the operation of off-road recreational vehicles, citing that its provisions are no longer necessary and conflict with another village ordinance. It was the consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board to approve the amendments to the village's municipal code. The motions before us tonight, one is to accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance amending the Village of Frankfort Code of Ordinances, Chapter 74, Bicycles, Motorcycles, and Certain Other Vehicles, to implement regulations for Class 1 low-speed electric bicycle use in the Village of Frankfort. The other motion before us is to accept the recommendation of the Village of the Whole, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance repealing ordinance number 1220 entitled An Ordinance Providing for Licensing and Regulating the Operation of Off-Road Recreational Vehicles, removing Chapter 97, Off-Road Recreational Vehicles from the Village of Frankfort Code of Ordinances.
Thank you, trustee Burley. Now we'll go to trustee Rossi.
Thank you, Mayor Olmo. The approval and release of certain closed session meeting minutes. The village board has conducted a semi-annual review of all written minutes of closed session meetings pursuant to the Illinois Meetings Act 5 ILCS 120-1, Following this review, it has been determined that certain minutes or parts thereof no longer necessitate confidential treatment and should be made available for public inspection. The motion before us is adopt a resolution approving and releasing certain closed session meeting minutes of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Frankfort.
Thank you, trustee Rossi. Those are all the items on the consent agenda. We have a motion and a second, so we will go to our deputy clerk, Teresa Court, for the vote.
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Trustee Burley.
Yes.
Trustee Rossi.
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni.
Yes.
Trustee Ledden.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, clerk. The following item is the Abbey Woods North subdivision, and we'll go to trustee Ledden for that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this item is Abbey Woods North subdivision, PIN number 1909-15300-019-0000. There are 5 items: the execution of an annexation agreement ordinance, annexation ordinance, rezone property from ER State Residential to R2 Single Family Residential Ordinance, preliminary plat of subdivision for Abbey Woods North approval, and plat of easement approval. At its June 12, 2024 meeting, the Committee of the Whole discussed a petition from property owner Marquette Bank, trust number 20185, to annex the 18.31 acre undeveloped property located on the south side of St. Francis Road, south of the southern terminus of Waterview Trail, into the corporate limits of Village of Frankfort. The current owner, Marquette Bank, trust number 20185, Steve Beamsterbor, sole beneficiary, and contract purchase developer O'Malley Builders, Inc., request to enter into an annexation agreement with the village for the development of 25 single-family lots known as Abbey Woods North subdivision. The committee also reviewed the proposed annexation agreement, which included a provision to rezone the parcel from ER Estate Residential to R2 Single Family Residential upon annexation, approval of preliminary plat of subdivision, approval of an off-site plat of easement for public utility and drainage easement, and temporary construction easement on the adjacent Rooney Fleck property to the west, as well as multiple zoning variations as enumerated in Section 16 of the annexation agreement. The project was also discussed at a Plan Commission public hearing on April 25, 2024, and May 9th, 2024. The Plan Commission forwarded 12 unanimous recommendations to the Village Board to approve the rezoning, preliminary plat of subdivision, and variation requests. The motion before us this evening is to postpone the vote on this until the December 16th board meeting to allow for the submission of some additional information for consideration.
All right, so you've made a motion for tabling?
Yes.
Or moving to, can we get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion at this point on this? If not, we'll go to our clerk, Teresa Court, for the vote.
Trustee Ledden.
Yes.
Trustee Burley.
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni.
Yes.
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Trustee Rossi. Motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. Next item that is on here is what's called the mayor's report, and we have a couple items on here, some business we need to take care of here first. The first is a reduction of a Class D liquor license. In my capacity as the liquor commissioner, I entertain a motion from the floor to adopt an amendment to the liquor ordinance authorizing a reduction in the number of Class D1 liquor licenses, which are restaurant, permitting bar, and limited carryouts, from 1 to 0 to reflect the closing of OPA, Modern Greek Cuisine Restaurant at 10235 Lincoln Highway. And we want to waive the first and second readings and pass an ordinance amending the Village of Frankfort Code of Ordinances, Chapter 113, intoxicating liquor, to reduce the number of Class D1 liquor licenses from 1 to 0. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? All right. And I did receive a call from George Carunzos and then also an email that, you know, it's with heavy heart that he and his wife Maureen made the decision to close the Frankfort location. It's come a time in their lives they need to spend more time with each other and their families, and their last day of operation was October 31st. The property is listed for sale, and they're hopeful new business will thrive. They want to thank all of us and the people of Frankfort for the last few years, and that they will miss us all tremendously. So thank you, and so will we. And we wish them the best in the future. The next item on here is a police commission appointment, and this evening I request and consent the approval of the trustees to appoint Carrie Landau to the position of police commissioner to fill the remainder of John Sunderland's term, which expires on April 30th of 2027. And I'll entertain a motion from the floor for approval of this appointment in just a moment. Carrie Landau is a 30-year law enforcement specialist, and having spent 21 years as a special agent with the FBI, now retired, interviewing and recruiting. So I'm asking for motion a second to approve the appointment of Carrie Landau to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners to fill the remainder of the appointed term of former Police Commissioner John Sunderland. Can I get a motion and a second, please? So moved. Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstain? All right, thank you. The next item on here is we have a vacancy on our Plan Commission, which we advertised for. And this evening I request the consent and approval of the trustees to appoint Rich Rappold to the position of Plan Commissioner to fill the remainder of Nicole Schaefer's term, which expires on April 30th, 2026. And I'll entertain a motion from the floor in just a moment for that. Nicole has done a tremendous job as the chair of the Plan Commission, not just a Plan Commissioner, but she'll be moving to Mokina. And you know, Rich Rappold is a long-term Frankfort resident. He also served on the Frankfort Plan Commission and even served as the chair of the Plan Commission in the past. So I ask for a motion and a second to approve the appointment of Rich Rappold to the Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the remainder of the appointed term of former Plan Commissioner Nicole Schaefer. Can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, we have one opposed. A voice vote, okay. Deputy Clerk, could you vote, please?
Trustee Brioni?
Yes.
Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Petro?
No.
Trustee Ledden?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Our village offices will be closed on Veterans Day, Monday, November 11th, in observance of the Veterans Day holiday. We've just recently completed the largest road resurfacing project and improvements for Frankfort, a $10 million contract this year. 58 road segments that were completed, and we're continuing the work to keep Frankfort in good shape and make sure we remain a premier community. Final item on here is I hope everyone had a nice Halloween. It was a little windy and cold, but if you do have leftover candy, like we've done in the past, you can drop it off here at Village Hall. People have already started to do it, and the mayor's office is starting to fill up with candy. But we take it out to Mantino Veterans Home, the Will County Children's Advocacy Center, Crisis Suburbia, a domestic violence shelter, and also if there are other places that you know, we'd be happy to do that as well. But it'd be collection point for the next week or so, and feel free to drop off your candy. We'd appreciate it, and it's very comforting for some of these folks that are having a difficult time in their life. So that's all tonight for the mayor's report, and we will go to find my agenda. Board comments, and we will start with Trustee Ledden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to congratulate Dan Elliott, I'll get his name right, and Integris Development on the completion of the building on White Street. Had the opportunity to go to Sensa's Sushi the other night. It was great. I look forward to the opening of Nautical Bowls and Rustic Need. I'm going to track which one I'm at the most. I'll report back in a year, probably be the bakery. Little prelim. That's all I have. Thank you.
Trustee Vergoni.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I would like to thank our great police department. They put on a fantastic trunk or treat, which was very successful. The weather was great. The line was wrapped all around brighter green and some. Greatly appreciated, as well as then as all of our residents were out trick-or-treating, I could see a number of police cars out there making sure that they were safe. So I'd like to take a moment to thank them. Also would like to welcome, we issued 3 new business licenses here in the village, so I would like to welcome those new businesses, as well as remind that branch pickup has concluded. However, leaf collection has started up, especially with these rainy days and nights. We would ask that you keep those leaves on the parkway and not in the street, so we can make sure that we keep those drains open and clear to make sure our streets do not flood. And also, I'd like to take a moment that a lot of these discussions we have are at the committee of the whole. I'd like to recognize staff as they put a lot of work and a lot of time and effort in preparing us for many of these items that we say we're at the committee of the whole, and that's where we do a lot of our work and our discussion points. It may seem like we, just talk through them here, but there's a lot of work that staff does behind the scenes as well to get us prepared. So I'd like to take a moment to thank them. And if you're ever interested in our committee of the wholes, we do have the minutes out there to see the elaborate conversations that we did have. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mayor. I too just wanted to comment and thank staff. They've been juggling a lot lately with different projects, as well as hosting early vote here at Village Hall. And so double duty on some of the responsibilities. I think we had quite a big turnout this year, so thank you to all the staff that makes that happen here. I too just want to recognize the new construction of the buildings opening up, so Senso Sushi. I did have the opportunity to go in for the training day at Nautical Bowls. Pretty excited about that, and I know Rustic Need is not far behind, so it's exciting to see these new businesses that are coming to our area, and encourage everybody to get out there and try something new that's come to Frankfort. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Burley.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I wanted to welcome Carrie Landau to the Police Commission. That's a solid pick, and I appreciate her signing up. A great person and highly qualified for that position. So I'm very happy with our Police Commission as it stands right now. I also wanted to wish all our veterans thank them for their service and wish them a happy Veterans Day, including Trustee Severia, who's not thinking about the village board right now, having fun in California. And I just want to encourage everyone to vote. Tomorrow's a big day. Get out there, do it. Don't complain if you don't vote. That's all I got.
Thank you. Trustee Rossi.
Thank you, Mayor. Just the same thing with our 2 new appointments. I think they'll do a great job. Looking forward to seeing them come on board. I do want to say thank you to Nikki Schaefer for all the hard work she put in. It's a tough job, right, Trustee Bergoni? It's a tough job, and she did a good job at it. I'm glad and sad to see her go.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you. Do we have any other business to come before our board tonight, John? Okay. All right. We're at the point of the meeting called public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to come before the board and make a public comment? This is not back and forth or a public hearing, but you make your comments, please.
Remember me, TJ Marksell at Candle Creek. I wasn't going to talk at the public portion. I was hoping that we were going to have a conversation about the annexation of Abbey Woods North. So I'll just say it very quickly. The only concern I have on the section 11.8 is I would like to have a sentence added, and I might send it to Mike, but I'll say it here at public comments. After the dollar amount of the recapture, I would just like the words added plus all interest under the original recapture agreement. So that's, I have it on copy. I can send it to you guys, or I can send it to Mike, but I'll be here December 16th.
All right, thank you. Is there any other public comment before the board tonight? Hearing none, can I get a motion and a second to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.